All right, guys. So today we're going to talk about acceleration and kind of how the strength and conditioning, more of like the weight room side of things, kind of all ties into that. So if we look at acceleration in terms of characteristics, we're looking at deeper joint angles, again, in relation to max velocity, longer ground contact times, meaning our foot is going to be planted on the ground for longer than, again, max velocity. And then it's more force dominant, requires strength and force output as opposed to elasticity. So if we then look at the jumps and plyos that would be associated or help train those different aspects, if we look at isos, we're looking at our spring ankle positions 1 and 2. So again, matching those deeper ranges of motion, and then we can hold those for an extended period of time to really build up the tendon strength that is required to have resilient and strong ground contacts. And then any sort of, think of like a lunge iso position, really getting that knee over toe, again, matching the same type of positions that we would in the sprint. So getting the knee over the toe, that positive shin angle, again, exposing the tendons and ligaments to deeper and more stressful ranges of motion and making them as resilient as possible. If we move on to our jumps then, again, sticking with the theme of matching the characteristics, deeper ranges. So think anything like seated, anything weighted, band resisted, anything that's going to require you to produce as much force as possible. And then again, you can match the force vector. So if we're accelerating, we're trying to go horizontally. So think different broad jumps, again, double or single leg, but vertical jumps work as well. Again, all we're doing is training explosiveness in those ranges. So a vertical jump will be fine, even though it's not the exact force vector. But if you want to get super specific, working on the broad jumps will work great as far as hip projection goes. And then advancing onto the plyometrics, anything that requires a huge amount of force and causes longer ground contact time. So think of a higher depth drop, so dropping off from a higher box. Again, doing that double or single leg. Anything band resisted, that kind of thing. And then as we transition to the weight room side of things, we're looking for compound movements. So think squat, trap bar deadlift, RDL. And again, you can do those double or single leg, depending on how advanced in the programming you are, how advanced the athlete is. And then think heavy. Again, everything with acceleration is force production, right? That's going to be one of the key characteristics. So think anything in the 5-3, 1 rep range, right? We're trying to develop as much force output as we can, okay? Really get the nervous system to excite those high-end motor units, those high threshold motor units. And again, keep the sets and reps low just to make sure that we're not fatiguing. Remember, we don't want the weight room to ruin our sprints.